We at the crib. Alright, we're not gonna play any music. We just going live right now.
All right.
That's what it is. That's the type of time I'm on. To make sure we all set. Hold, let me move you a little. Move you over. Make sure you're in the center, my guy. In fact, I'll play some music while I'm getting set up. Why not? I guess y'all deserve it. It's episode 23 of the Capitalism and Art podcast. You know what it is, man.
Yeah, man.
Y'all come roll with us, come vibe with us, man.
You know it's here if Hänz Nobe on the beat. I ain't really trying to say too much, but you a breath of fresh air like a man, baby. You come in clutch. Plus, you keep my head spinning like a wave brush, and I love the way you shoot for the stars till the day's up. So when you got an off day and shit goes sideways, I can be your crutch. No, it's a problem when the tests go clutch, and I'm all in if you tryna go Dutch. Got me going crazy, I might have to pop that trunk. Shoot my shot, trying to have your ass on lock. The bitches for the birds, you ain't got no flock. Now, tell your ex nigga he can kick that rock, and any other nigga tryna shoot this shot gon' have to learn about my block. And for all that, I'm about to pull up to your spot. So, listen for the knock, you work hard, baby. See the picture of your mama in the smock. It's the way you walk, it's the way you talk, it's the way you move, and your fucking attitude. It's the way you touch, it's the way you love, it's the way we fuck, and it's everything you do.
Yo, bro, who got you smiling like that? Like, that happy? Yo, come on, bro.
That's dope.
At first seemed like you wasn't into me. Now can't deny that you're feeling me. I don't know if it's the ass or the Hennessy, but it's starting to feel
Yeah,
like
man,
we
we'll
was
start off
meant
with some
to
light
be.
vibes, man.
Yeah, it's the way
Twitter
I
got
move.
y'all
I see you
tripping right
sweating,
now.
just perplexed by the way I groove. I know you got a girl, and you know I
CNN
got it
tripping.
too. The way you love me, shit, I think I love you too.
Let's do
The
some
whole world
light.
tripping right now.
It's the way you talk, it's the way you move, and your fucking attitude. It's the way you touch, it's the way you love, it's the way we
A piccolo flute?
fuck, and it's
What is it? Oh, what is that?
Nah, that's a flute player, my guy.
It's the way you walk, it's the way you talk, it's the way you move, your fucking attitude. It's the way you
I hear him trying to get funky with it.
it's the way you love, it's the way
Nah, that's a
we
flute player
fuck, and
that's
it's
playing on there.
everything you do.
Yes, sir.
You get the-
That is.
That
Oh,
whole
oh,
one.
oh, oh, oh. Hey, wait a minute. They gotta pay for that. They gotta pay for that. Let me go ahead and share the Twitter, man. What's going on, everybody? Again, this is Hänz Nobe, Theo Mackey. We're gonna do a proper introduction. Let me introduce the podcast because we're official now. We a brand.
Man, got the logo now.
Got a logo. We'll get into that here in a quick second. Let's not jump around too much, my guy. Let's get into it. So proper introduction. Y'all ready? Yeah. Okay. Y'all ready? Okay. Cool. What's going on, everybody? It's episode 23 of Capitalism and Art. I'm Hänz Nobe, co-founder of the reggaeton, pop, and R&B music production company Room 380. I got my man Urban Ways, aka Theo Mackey, music consultant and A&R. And today we just here just to laugh. I'm gonna need all of y'all to calm down, just relax, okay? I know everyone's tense and people are crying and never met a Ukrainian a day in their life. I get it. It's theater.
It's crazy.
It's theater. I just need y'all to just come on in. Let's have some laughs. If you're watching a replay, we watch it tonight, tomorrow morning, this weekend, whatever. Just come in, laughs, put the phone down. Don't do the doom scroll. Have you heard that before, Theo? It's called
Nah,
a
the
doom scroll.
doom scroll?
They call it a
Who
doom
do that?
scroll. It's when you're constantly going through content that makes you feel like the world is about to end. That's when everyone
Oh, okay.
everyone. It's all right.
Listen, I'll put it to you like this. If we get canceled early, I know it was probably somebody was probably doom scrolling. They saw this and said, oh, nah.
Yeah, no need. And it's no need for that. It's no need for that, man. We are here. We are blessed.
It's all love.
It's all love, fam. We alive. It could be worse. In real life, it really could be worse. So,
True story.
so we got the pod introduced. That was The Way by Tynnelle featuring MonieClipse. That was produced by Hänz, Nobe. The guy's kind of good. You may want to check him out. Just saying.
Yeah, man.
And yeah, man. So we're getting into some stuff, man. So Theo, how was your week?
It was cool, man. It was cool, man. Very productive. Very productive. You know what I'm saying? Rocking out the school stuff, getting these certifications moving. You know what I'm saying? Living life.
It's casual. That's it, bro. Just doing regular stuff. That's it.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just gotta keep it small. You know what I'm saying? You can't let all your big stuff out the door.
All right, Theo.
You know, when you put energies into the universe.
All right, Theo. Let me. And I gotta get this right. Let me tell you. So we're gonna make a rule. All right.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna make a rule. Anytime I say, "Hey, how's your week?" and you want to talk about stuff you've done, you can't make it like it's some minuscule thing, like you're not doing anything, fam. We a brand now. We'll get into that.
All right.
We're a brand now. So let's try this again. All right, Theo, tell me how was your week, man?
Oh, that week is rocking, bro. It's rocking. You know, this master's is going crazy. The certifications is going crazy. I just got my digital marketing certification. Shout that out one time. You know what I'm saying? Working on that SEO certification next. I'm about to get on your heads real quick. You just know how we working in these streets, man.
That is amazing, man. So tell me about this certification.
Yeah, you already know, man. You know what I'm saying? We kind of get that paperwork up. And at the end of the day, everybody's asking about this marketing. Everybody's trying to figure out how to get everything moving, everything connecting. Everybody says connections is money. Network is money. You know, so everybody trying to get paid. So at the end of the day, you got to get your network up. That's what we're trying to do over here. Get them certifications so we can get your network up. Get that money. Knowledge equals money.
All right. So Theo's gonna be the guy. You gonna have to. So let me translate that for y'all, for the audience. What Theo is saying is, hey guys, I am going to be the guy you call when you want to know how to build your brand and for artist development. I have a resume and a long CV. I've worked at BET. I've been around the country. I've done this for numerous people and built numerous brands. Call me when you're ready to roll. It's okay. Theo is going through media training for this podcast. We're going to have him translate that better. But that's what it
I went to New York. You went
way to New York, my guy. You went way to New York.
All right. That's my apology. You said give it the big up. So, you know what I'm saying? I had to go with the direction. So that's my apology.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's okay. Like I said, we're going to get you right. We're going to get you right. It's all good. And I got to work on it, too.
I mean, if y'all want me to go professor, that's all y'all got to say.
I mean, it's not so much about
if y'all want me to be Professor Waves, that's all you got to say.
Sure.
All right, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Go complete flip on that 180. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, make that directional turn. We'll go from New York right to Mr. Education real fast.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, good deal. Well, my week was pretty good. Yeah, man. What happened? So this weekend, the weather was weird up here in New York. It'll be, and this is no joke, it'll be like 65 degrees, and then at night it'll be 32. So my week has been, I wake up in the morning, I'm wearing a full, like, like a puffy, it's not really a goose down, but it's like a real, you know.
You got a bubble coat, bro?
Yeah, I got a bubble. What's wrong with a bubble coat?
Nah, ain't nothing wrong with a bubble coat. This is the way you explain it. It's about that internet looking like you got half the internet that know what time it is saying, yo, son talking about a bubble coat? You got everybody else on the comments saying, what type of coat is he talking about? I need that.
It's a coat, man. It's a coat, bro. Anyway, A&R aspiring, sure, we'll connect. I don't know what city you're in, but we will connect. But yeah, so like that's been my week pretty much. I'm in a full coat, and then when I have to walk out for lunch, I'm in a t-shirt. And then when I walk out at 5:15, 5:30, I'm back in a goose down or I'm in a hoodie. So it's been a lot of that going on. I'm not sure what's happening anymore, but that's That's been my week, man. A lot of stuff
Nah.
that I've seen. I'm getting some weird DMs as well. I'm gonna talk about that later because I don't know what that is about yet, but it's strange. I'm not sure what's going on. And it's only been happening since the podcast since the podcast's been rolling.
Hmm.
I'm getting some weird DMs. I was cool with like the graphic designers and like the forex people and everything else, but now
Right.
it's getting a little
Crazy.
I'm not sure what energy I'm putting out, but people seem very comfortable in saying some things. It's like that's not cool. So that's been my
Man,
week.
listen, when you become a content creator, everything shifts. Everybody has an opinion, and everybody's going to present that opinion to you, whether if it be publicly or privately. They want to let you know how they feel about your content or in context to what you're saying. It's real in the battlefield.
See, here's the thing. I'm okay with an opinion. I can handle an opinion. What I can handle is you sending me. All right, so I guess I'll get into it. What I can
Uh-oh.
handle is receiving. Okay, so I tell you one of the DMs I got. One of the DMs I got was from this guy who was asking me if I wanted to sell certain products for him. And no, he's not asking me to
Wow.
be a brand ambassador. I'm like, well, obviously this is the feds, so
Right.
obviously that's block and report just in case.
Right.
Another DM I got. I've also got a lot of DMs where it's very small talk. Hey, how are you? I'm good. Cool. You been in music for a while? Yeah. Okay. That's cool. You like producing? It's like, what the hell is going on?
The bot accounts.
And it's a lot of, and it could really be bot accounts, but some of those accounts will say, oh well, I like to sing. Okay, cool. What are we doing? So there's been a few of those. So I'm not sure
Yeah, man.
what's happening out there, but it's
They got them automation triggers. All you got to do is respond. They already know who they sent it to.
I guess.
All you got to do is answer the question. They're going to send you something else that correlates.
Just don't be hitting me up asking me to sell work for you. That's
All right, hey, listen, I'm not even going to lie. I knew once they started the legalization of weed in various states,
stop it.
I told the homie a while back, I said, listen, bro, I said, it's going to get funny because you're going to have people in one state who can legally sell the product and then people in a whole another state trying to collaborate. Like, you can still catch about 5 years on what you're trying to do right now, right?
Man,
They be like, what you talking about? Like, your man's across the bridge there. He's good. You, sir, I'm going to need you to stop this conversation right now because if you get caught up, he's not in trouble. But you, well, let's just say it was nice knowing you. It was. I told you what I said. I said, bro, I said at that point, I said, you might as well go ahead and just hop across the river. You know what I'm saying? Make that transition. If this is what you want to do with your life, you want to get into botany, do your thing. You can make a lot of money, but make sure you do it on the other side.
okay. Yeah. All right, y'all. All right. Yeah, it's weird times. I'll say that. It's weird times. All right. So let's get into some stuff. We've been kind of jerking around. So I'm looking at our list. So Theo hit me up. Let me give Theo his props right now. I just want to take a quick moment to give Theo his props.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
Oh, man.
So the reason why I want to give Theo his props, and I want to make sure I say it now because a couple things. So I'm going on a staycation starting tonight at midnight. I'm going to work on a couple projects. I'm just tightening up some stuff, but like nothing serious because my birthday is this weekend. So
what day? Friday or Saturday?
Saturday
Or Sunday?
Saturday. It's yeah. So I'm not gonna say the date because I'm one of those people like birthdays is cool. It's like yeah, but I don't do like the birthday week. I don't do a birthday month. I don't sit there and say hey, here's my Cash App. Leave me alone. That's why I would like you. Leave me alone. If you want to send me, if you know
the internet
me,
want to know your age.
No. If you know me and you want to Cash App me, that's fantastic. No, I'm not giving out my Cash App information so you can send me a donation for being born. That's not That's not his word. I'm not asking complete strangers who I don't
Oh
know
god.
to send me, hey, send me some money. No.
I mean, but if we being honest though, technically, back when you were a rapper and you were trying to get people to listen to your music, it was circumstantially the same thing. Hey, stranger, listen to this music. By way, you be given a donation because you're streaming. You're just not giving it in hand.
It's funny you say that because the next thing I was going to say was if you want to do a donation, you can go to hansnobe.com or hansnobe.bandcamp.com. And if you want to purchase one of my previous albums, you definitely get they're right
Oh
here.
man.
I have them. I'm gonna upload Dropify. I know I've been saying that for a while, and I'm gonna get back to this. But if you want to, you're more than welcome to. I would love it.
I
Thank
love
you.
the segue.
Yeah, there we go. Bam. Anyway, but I want to give props to Theo because he's really taken on the role of assisting me with this podcast. Because again, when I started this, if you've been following me since episode 1, or you're watching this like a year from now, and then you go back to listen to episode 1, again, this all started from a rant, and then I shared it to be funny, and then a few of you guys was like, yo, that's fire, and then I put in blog form, you said that's even more fire. And so for the past, since this is episode 23, so we'll say 25, 26, 27 weeks, so almost a year now since I started this thing, you guys have been rocking with me. So that's what, almost, yeah, it's basically 6 months, right? So the past 6 months, y'all been rolling with me, send DMs. I love seeing, DMs from people. So like, yo, I thank you for the metadata one, thank you for the split sheet one. Yo, I didn't know, that's why it took so long for people to get royalty payments. I didn't know there was even like a payout schedule and this, that, and third, which is cool. I'm glad this is what I do it for. But I really appreciate you, man, in regards to like stepping in and like really helping me tighten up some things and put some stuff together, man. So shout out to you.
Most definitely, man. I appreciate the opportunity. And speaking to one of the previous episodes you referenced with regards to split sheet, man, if you need a split sheet, let me know. I actually have one that I did custom. You can hit me up on Instagram at Urban Waves. And then just to give a plug on a system that I really like, this joint called Song Trust. They also have all types of available points of documents as well as definitions, et cetera, et cetera. It is, in that sense, a music administration publishing company. So I definitely recommend checking them out.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, man. So this is, wait, should we get into the brand now? Or
Oh,
we,
yeah.
okay.
Go ahead and run that in real
Okay.
quick.
So I told y'all I've been working something for y'all for a little while, and I wasn't sure what it was going to be at first, because I was like, I don't know what to make that look like. So I've been working on this thing, and I'll show it to you now, because I figured it'd be best to show you guys now in the beginning stages, so that way you kind of understand exactly what it is. So I'm actually in the process of creating a Capitalism in Art Facebook group. And what the Facebook group is going to focus on is solely going to focus on discussing music business. I want to create like a CNBC for music business, because there's none really out there. Well, I mean, yeah, you have Business World, you have Billboard, and that's fine. But I want to make stuff to where like you get engaged and you actually can get some gain from this. And like I have my vision for this is like we post an article and we discuss it. Like we everyone in the groups sits down and asks questions. If there's a terminology you're not familiar with, there'll be resources there to tell you what that terminology means. You'll understand how this applies to your business. You'll understand like why certain things are the way they are, and you'll understand why the indie market is in a I don't know if conundrum is the proper word, but basically the indie market, there's two different sides. The indie market is either way ahead of the curve or way behind the curve at the same time. It's the weirdest thing. We're the only business where we'll say what 33% of the monies in the entire industry is where one is leading the charts and the other one is like 5 years too late. But
Right.
what I want to do for this, man, is like I want to have like live streams here, discussions. I want to bring in like entertainment lawyers. I want to bring in well-known producers and engineers and artists in regards to setting up their business. I want to discuss people who have made 6 figures, people who are in the 5-figure range, people who've made $1 million, people who've learned, taken certain skills. And what I want you to get out of this is be able to actually go in get some game and implement to your business so that way you can actually start making money and actually start making a living from this stuff. I'm thinking like even like live streaming album release parties. Like it's a whole bit. So stay tuned for it. But yeah, we have a brand now. We have a logo. It's not a brand yet. We have to develop it, but we got a logo. Damn it! And that logo is hard because I hired a graphic designer. I came up with that shit on the fly. It's like, what do you have any ideas? And I was like, I just sent him something. He's like, no. I sent him 3 ideas, and that was the first one. And I sent 2 others. He was like, no, like that's the one. So
right,
yeah, man.
I will say this: as soon as I see the mask, all of a sudden it screams, "This is going to be theatrical."
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's definitely the push. That's definitely the push.
For sure. All right. What are we going to get into? I keep doing sick. I keep like bouncing around. So let's get into some stuff, man. So I got my little tool. So I actually want to get into this. So let me copy it here, and then I think I can just paste it here, and I'll keep this up. And another thing as well. This Facebook group is invite only. I'm going to say that again. It's invite only. It's a private group. Non-union boys, union friends and girlfriends and stuff can't come in. It's a private group. There's a vetting process. The reason why is because this is for people who are solely looking for a resource to help them build their brand, marketing, business. Hey, I have an advertising budget of $60 a month to $1,200 a month. Where do I spend it? So if you think you're gonna come in here and just spam everyone with your musical links, you have another thing coming. Because if we see you do that, you get one warning. You do it again, I say you out. Because we're not here for that. It's, hey, I'm looking for a resource to hey, I just got my tax refund. I got $1,200 or whatever. What I'm looking to spend in business. What can I do? Okay, cool. In advertising, you can do this. You can implement this. This type of equipment you may want to use. Again, it's in the build up, but just keep an eye out for that. So let me see if I can.
Actually, I'm gonna add on to that. With that being said, if someone said, "Hey, I just got my taxes. I got $1,200. Where do I spend?" I don't want people to have the impression, "Oh, okay, I got $1,200, and everything you telling me is basically saying what you're gonna do." Understand the people that we're gonna have in these groups. That $1,200, they'll look at that and they may potentially tell you what needs to be done just on free information because of the space we're in. But if you attempt to hire them going forward, please believe there may be a higher bill based on what they need to get done. When they say, "Hey, I'm going to charge you $2,000, your $1,200 is going to do this, but these are the results you're going to get." Right. So you be mindful of what you're actually walking into, because I know in a lot of instances, literally that $1,200 to be what you have in your name. So there's nothing against any financial situations you have. You'll either be up or be down. Just know when you approach someone, understand, as they say, their price is their price. So we're going to respect each other accordingly in that group and keep positive atmospheres.
Exactly. And again, the vetting process is going to be pretty simple. If you show that you have a business mind and you understand exactly what you want to do, because you got to contribute too. Like, I'm in a couple of groups now, and you may have saw them off in the side. Like, some of those groups, you had to pay high dollar to get in because they're giving like all sorts of game. I done got like some serious, I'm talking about like, yo, this is how you get up to 6 figures. There's a couple people in there that hit, $1 million plus doing different things and everything. Like, this is, if you want to know, like, here's some free game for you while we're here. If you want to know where the real information is, it may not necessarily be a university, but there are groups out there. They don't have to be Facebook groups, but there are groups out there that share like that real information in real time. One of my mentors, he's in a group now where the game he's giving me like, yo, you can start a, escort and get a DBA and do this, that, and the third, like all kind of stuff. We like, fam. So keep an eye out for capitalism and art. It's gonna be one of those groups for real.
So I'll tell you, adding on to that, one system that came out and really started plugging, of course, some months ago was Clubhouse. I know it was invite only initially with regards to, iPhone, iOS platform, stuff like that. But I tell anybody, if you can get in on that platform, be mindful of the groups you're in, because you talking about they be some heavy hitters in there, really, really giving out valuable information in a lot of different industries. So as Hans was saying, don't feel limited to Facebook. Explore, even if it's an application you're not familiar with. You know what I'm saying? Go out there and seek information on all sides in all spaces. You really never know what you're going to come up against. And in a lot of instances, if you go to platforms that are not well known, you may find more viable information because they're trying to disseminate information, not dealing with larger spaces. They're trying to get those people who are like, all right, you want to transition from a niche to a more open situation. But we don't want to do this on Facebook because we're not trying to give this to a million people. We're trying to give this to the few who are serious, who are hungry. So we know you're going to seek the unbeaten path.
Yeah, it's no different from moving to like Atlanta, LA, or New York. You want to get in where you can fit in, but you really want to get into those high echelon groups. But sometimes you have to hang out with a certain crowd and sort of peep to certain clubs. You have to go to a certain time to be around certain people to have certain conversations, and that takes time to know. And it all starts with, do you even want that information? Because some of that you got to pay. And what I mean by that is, it's, catching an Uber there, getting the drinks, meeting, paying a cover charge, if going to certain events, stuff like that, to get that real time information. Because that's really the difference. Okay, so we can actually kind of spawn upon this a little bit. That's really the difference between where you are now and the person that's like 6 tiers above you. Is that the person 6 tiers above you has access to information that you need, but you can't reach that person that's 6 tiers up. So you got to find the next, tier or 2 up, and then get that information to implement. And that's been the thing with running Room 380. My production company was, again, everything for me, everything always comes from an idea. I just see a problem, and then I say, oh, this is my solution. So when I started Room 380, I was like, it's too many artists out here that's hitting me up for beats, but then when we do something, everything falls flat, because like you put it on SoundCloud and that's it. It's like there's no plan. So I started Room 380 to, help the artist develop a plan, create content, and develop that song so that way it has legs. And doing that put me in a different level. And then when I started getting these groups, it put me in another level. Then I started getting, higher clients, and I started getting higher opportunities, and this, that, and the third. So as I climb up, I'm getting, some of the information is real time, some of it's kind of late, but I also realize like, oh, the reason why someone like Mike Will, or somebody like who runs a product, Southside with 808 Mafia, or Stargate, for instance, the reason why they're way ahead is not so much just experience, but just the knowledge. It's like, it's like that line that Kanye said, I didn't forgot, better shit than you ever thought of. It's kind of like they have forgotten stuff I don't even know is even out there yet. And so if you want to move up, you have to search for the information, of course, put in the time and the work, and have a catalog and have a resume and have a great brand. But really what you need is that information. That's why there's so many massive courses, as everyone, and we've been saying this in the past few episodes now. The information you're looking for has been monetized, because YouTube will only get you so far. There is a cap, just like there's stuff me and Theo talk about in regards to artist development and brand and stuff like that, where we partner on certain things, and it's like, no, you got to monetize that, because it does get to a point where the information you're giving is so valuable, it wouldn't make any sense to give it away for free. Or in a sense, sorry, that was said wrong. The information is so valuable, you kind of have to get coached through it, because the different tiers of like understanding. It's again, it's levels. So we just want to make sure.
It's what they call hiding in plain sight. It's like literally there'll be a point of information that'll be presented to you, but because someone's saying it's free, as they're saying it, you would probably disregard it, be like, nah, that's not really what I need to know, because you just too casually gave that away. People kind of look to that point of saying, oh, if I got to pay for it, it must be something amazing. When in reality, a lot of the information that someone's going to tell you is already available to you thanks to the internet. Like you said, you just have to go out there and search. You have to actively seek. You know what I'm saying? That's even like, I remember, again, going with Clubhouse. When I got put on the Clubhouse originally, there was this one little funny thing that somebody told me that tripped me out because I had never seen it before with regards to digital platforms. They said, hey, if you go in and keyword search this little thing like music supervisor, in this platform, it'll present to you all of the music supervisors associated to this platform right now.
Right.
And this aren't people who are just putting, oh, I'm a music supervisor in a title with slashes because it sounds good. This isn't necessarily just people who are inspiring to this position. No, we're talking about real deal people who work for Disney, people who are plugging in with Universal, et cetera, et cetera. You'd be surprised what's out there.
I got one better. I think I mentioned it one time. There's a music industry social media group you can only get by invite that I'm in. Not gonna say the name. Slow down. I don't want
to have people spam them.
Yeah, I don't want to become like the guy that's leaking all the information. I have to be very cognizant of that as well, because I am giving a lot of info, but at the same time, that's why, like, excuse me, anytime you see me say, well, I have to be careful with my words. Sometimes there's like little gems that I put in there. It's like I have to leave that in, because if I just say it, it's like, and
right.
But yeah, again, the information's out there, but you gotta look for it though. All right, man. Let's finally get into this some stuff. So, all right, and we're going to get into this content saturation thing. So Chris Vivaro, who's our engineer at Room 380, he posted this in his Instagram stories. I'm actually not too familiar with Ghastly. I think I've heard the name before, but I'm not too familiar with his music. But
You've heard that name before.
Yeah,
you heard that name about.
You've heard the name before?
No, you heard that name when you was a kid.
Stop it. Anyway, stop it. You making fun of that man's name. We didn't even mess.
No. I like the name. I dig the circumstance, but I mean that also brings into the question when you're dealing with the fact that something like Pokemon, and it's like, oh, okay, that correlates. Is there trademark issues there? Is there a copyright? I mean, what are we dealing with? What's the precedent here? You know what I'm saying? What's the precedent in this particular circumstance? Being that we never realistically heard this prior to this being presented on a world stage. I mean, but they've done it all, from the Justice League to the Super Friends. I mean, so why not?
Theo, you can't talk yourself out of that. You just made fun of that man's name. That is Theo Mackey,
I dig
the
it.
Third.
Not at all. I dig it. Listen, anybody who know me know I'm a huge Pokemon fan, so I respect the hustle.
All right. So anyway, this guy Ghastly had posted some feelings that I think is mutual, but at the same time. So we're just to forewarn you, we're gonna look at it on both sides, right? We're gonna look at it as objectively. Some things I agree with, some things I don't. In fact, I think I may take the side of agree, but I think Theo takes the side of disagree. But we'll give our points, so we'll do that. So he posted this. So it's today, Thursday. So he posted this Wednesday. He says, the current music industry / culture as a whole is in a very confusing place. It feels as though artistry has been shifted from genuine expression and creating sounds that express what words cannot to hacking the algorithm. This approach ceases the intent of being genuine, as the main focus is always numbers and engagement over quality and creativity. I was working on a song with someone recently who asked me if I could make the beat more TikTok-y. It made me feel dirty just to read it. He goes on to say, make sure I get, He goes on to say, it's no wonder so many new artists are struggling to develop a following. The pace at which they are now required to pump out content is inhuman and unrealistic, given the modern attention span is less than a goldfish. Okay, all right. So we can start right there. And again, I'll take the side of agree. You take the side of disagree. Because some points you make, of course, I'm going to agree with, but because I'm just that guy. But he's right, and I can pinpoint it right there. This all started when Daniel Ek Spotify, more songs. So when Daniel Ek, and also I don't know Daniel Ek. I have nothing against Daniel Ek. This would be the third or fourth episode where I've mentioned him. I just want y'all to know I have no beef with this. At the end
It's
of the
just
day,
circumstances.
yeah. At the end of the day, this is his platform. I'm just utilizing it for my fans. Okay, done. All right. So Daniel Ek came out and said that if artists want to be successful in his platform, they need to release a new project every 3 to 4 months. And where people were saying was like, that's unrealistic and this, that, and the third, because in the hip hop space, that's very common because you have to keep feeding your fan base, right? But for a pop artist, so let me give you some insight on that. So I just started really turning into like the reggaeton, pop, R&B realm, right? And I remember one of my first, I guess you want to say pop-ish beats. It wasn't exactly pop. Was back in 2016. I made it, and when I played it for somebody, said, "Man, that's a good demo. That's good bones. Let me know when you finish it." And I was like, "It is finished." They're like, "No, it's nowhere near finished." I was like, "You mean the mix?" I'm like, "No, it's not finished." So when I asked them and said there's not enough tracks, it doesn't sound big enough. When I finally did this record called Shaka, which came out on Dri-Fi, the I think the total tracks was like somewhere between 30 and 40 different tracks. And I remember thinking, oh, okay, that's why it's...
That's what he meant.
That's what he meant. So for pop artists, if you're looking at 30 to 40 tracks for a beat, and then your vocals can go anywhere from 60, that's... A rapper is what? Main vocals, dubs, ad-libs, maybe another ad-lib, and that's it. That's 4 tracks. In fact, hip-hop has gotten so good, engineers have gotten so good, you can actually take the 2-track, which is just a beat, which they rip off YouTube, lay your vocals down, mix it. There's a plugin that can actually duck your the beat based on where to EQ your vocals, and that's it. You can pop on music like that. But for a pop artist, you're talking about like for a snare, you're talking about possibly anywhere from 3 to 6 to 7 different snares. There's a top kick, there's a middle kick, there's a bottom kick, there's a round kick. You gotta mix all that in and then put like a real kick on it. Then for like the bass, there's like the top end, then there's a mid end, then there's like the sub bass, and then for the pads, it may be 8 different pads, and then the melody may have like 4 different textures on there, and then like fam, you not pump that out in 15 minutes. So for the hip hop artists, it's totally fine because they can pop out music like that. You can come out with a mixtape tonight. We've seen it. We've seen people who say, "Yo, I just got a pack of beats." They record all the beats, and then the mixtape comes out the next morning. That's not gonna happen for a country singer or future idiot, future bass DJ, anything like that. That stuff takes time. And then
they're musicians though.
But that's what I'm saying. So it benefits a small percentage of the users on Spotify. But for the overall, it's a totally big disadvantage now. So in regards to what he's saying, I agree. This is what I'm saying. Your point.
I mean, I can definitely not disagree with what he's saying in that respect. From a creation aspect, if you're a musician, I can definitely understand how this becomes a cumbersome process because, like you said, different than producing a hip hop beat. You know what I'm saying? Those who are true to the craft and sense of musicianship, they really, really take that to the next level and they layer. Now, here's the problem, historically speaking. It's not just an artist standpoint issue. The real issue comes down to consumerism. So if you think back, you know what I'm saying, to when we were dealing with LimeWire, things of that nature, the reason why we were having the problem post CDs is because from a consumerism standpoint, you had individuals in college who did not want to spend 99 cents to $1.09 per record and have to do this for every particular song and or album 10.99 that they wanted to buy. The budget just wasn't there if you were in college. So when you have this situation as like, oh, let me access MP3s, I'm telling you, this is how it let in. You have a situation where you can download MP3s. It's like, cool, I'm going to do this. Now, here's the flip from the artist standpoint. And this is where those two situations intersected. At that same time, you had artists arguing what? Man, I'm only getting what? Statutory rate, 9 cents on the dollar per contract right now, dealing with these labels. And this is when we still had what? Gatekeepers. This wasn't when you had 100 artists out. This is when you had, from a hip hop standpoint, maybe 5 or 6 major artists dropping in a year at any given moment, dropping on specific days out of the week, your Super Tuesday type joints. You know what I'm saying? We had all of this to a science. So when you have a situation of artists saying, yo, this financially is not working, and then at the same time, the other argument is, I'm not able to release when I want. I got to deal with the fact that I have this major artist on this label that I just got signed to, who's potentially about to drop ahead of me, and or if I even get to drop it all, because they may pull my resources. What am I supposed to do? You had all of these circumstantial things that were correlating with each other. So when the internet really got funky, you know what I'm saying? And you got this thing called Spotify that's over in another country for 5 or 6 years and finally breaks the US market. Oh, all hell breaks loose. Simply for the fact because you just fixed a consumerism issue. Consumers were cool with iTunes, but it wasn't for everybody. Now you have a universal platform that allows you to digitally access all forms of music. Mind you, they're the only platform when they came out who actually had contracts with all the major labels. Now, in that same situation, because of such with consumerism, now you have all these artists who are now looking at, oh, wait a minute. I don't got to go to a label. You mean there's this new company that just popped up that's going to allow me to go direct to this particular streaming service? That's not something I could really do with iTunes. I could do that with him. Because again, when Spotify came out, you all of a sudden had all of these major distributors popping out of the woodwork, all these indie transitioning. So now you have artists who are looking at the marketplace and saying, I don't have to deal with them. I can go direct to consumer. The problem is these artists never realize, even if you're going to direct to consumer with your music, you are now technically becoming a small business. You're not just an artist anymore. What you were behind the wheel on, what a label was, they had the marketing behind you. They had the teams to block it.
I hear where you're going, and I knew you were coming with this point, and I was ready for you. I have a counterpoint to that. You're calling it consumerism. I'm calling it conditioning. I'm calling it conditioning. If you can actually condition, there's a study on it. It's called not social engineering, but there's an actual study on, there's an actual term where you can actually condition a demographic or certain people to function a certain way. So yes, it did open up the floodgates when you could stream all the music, and that's totally fine, but people were just streaming the music. No one was having a high demand. Like I never
didn't have high demand. They didn't show you the demand. Think about it. Think about how Kazaa, this is back when I used to DJ. We literally used to hack and I used to DJ back in the day. I'm going to have to pull that out of there later. But we used to be on LimeWire, Kazaa, Crosswire. We used to be everywhere.
But there is a difference between, I can listen to St. John, Kalani, and Black and Summer Walker's entire catalog. There's a difference between what you're saying is, hey, I want to listen to, so let's take that group, right? St. John, Summer Walker, Black, and Kalani, right? Okay, cool. There's never been a time where I've heard, unless it's been a long time, I've never heard the consumer say, yo man, it's been 2 months, I need you to drop another album. I've never heard that.
See, I'll tell you where that circumstance changed. When you put people in a position, and it's not, I understand what you're saying about conditioning, but you also have to understand what the market was already doing prior to the aspect of someone saying, I can actually tweak this. If you're dealing with people in college, because you're talking about, this is a millennial generation when this has happened. So if you're talking about people.
See, I think, sorry to cut you off. I think what you're talking about is the mixtape days. We're talking about regular art. You got to keep in mind, mixtapes were big in hip hop, right?
Right, but not even mixtapes. We're just talking about music as a whole, because again,
no one was demanding a Kenny Chestnut album every 2 months.
No, I understand what you're saying. What I'm saying is there was a path that led up to this prior to the aspect of someone conditioning and saying, oh, I can tweak this. The conditioning came in after Spotify became available because people realized, wait, these people will pay to access this music in the same capacity that they were doing before. It's not that they want to do the thing illegally. They just needed a situation where they could do it. So once that platform was established, then the conditioning happened. Then it became a capacity of how fast can I get them? Because it's just like saying, okay, yeah, I got a car and I got a highway. Which is going to come first?
The car.
Exactly. The aspect of what they needed. They needed a vehicle. The aspect of Spotify was their vehicle to, how do you say, legally consume music in a capacity that they wanted. Now, when Spotify released, the condition became the highway saying, oh, how fast can I get more music? But the principality was already there. We were already going in that direction. To prove that next point, look at the movie industry.
How?
Again, if you look at our generation,
okay,
and what people were doing with music when the internet came out, because they were doing this roughly since what, late 90s, early 2000s. We were talking about dealing with LimeWire and stuff like that. So this isn't like mid 2000s, this is early. They were literally downloading gigabytes of music because they could not access these people's catalogs without spending fortunes prior. So when you gain to a streaming service that's going to give you the availability of these catalogs at a certain price point that's feasible for them, especially considering they're in college, so you're talking about $5 to $10 a month. That was stage one, getting them the vehicle, getting them signed on. Because again, Spotify had been out for 5 years prior to breaking into the US market. It's funny that you talk about this. I literally just did a paper on this.
But, okay.
Shouts out to the master program.
Okay, so here's my thing. So we'll use St. John or we'll use Summer Walker, just as an example, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Summer Walker fan. I've gone as far as her SoundCloud. I'm still listening to her latest album and her first. Summer Walker fans are not demanding for more music right now. She just,
do we know that for 100%?
Yes. Have you
or
not?
Do we believe?
Fam, going to the comments, no one's saying can you release another album right now. The only artist I'm like, yo, I'm waiting for something new was MonieClipse, because his album dropped when I was that was 2 apartments ago. Like it's been that long.
But that can also be perceived as conditioning, because just like if you listen to Adele, you know for a fact Adele's track record is not, regardless of what the market is doing, dropping an album every year, let alone every 2 months.
That's my point.
So I mean, there's 2 circumstances behind that conditioning. But that's what I'm saying. They needed a vehicle to get there. We were already in that direction. We needed to give consumers the belief that it was plausible, that it was possible. Them getting access to a system like Spotify, which did not exist in our market prior, gave them the capacity to believe, oh, something new is possible. Because once you gave them the vehicle, they decided to drive how they wanted to drive, the consumer. The consumer dictates in a lot of instances when it comes to artistry what's going to happen next in the market when it comes to release aspects. A lot of stuff has changed just based on how consumers respond. Think about it. Why would we as an industry condition our commodity, the artist, to release music faster unless we saw some form of profitability, which means the consumer would buy in? Reason why? We had systems like Vine. I'm telling you, the whole transition was from the video market. The video market taught the music market, this is what consumers want. The problem is the video market did it better than the music market.
But what you're talking about primarily is, I'm talking about, everything has an endpoint, right? So everything has this goes back to this question I asked. Are you addressing the cause or the effect? What it sounds like to me is that you're addressing the effect, not the cause. I don't think the cause is just consumerism. I think consumerism is actually a condition. There's movies on it. I took a public relations class way back in college. What I'm saying is that consumerism is conditioned by the algorithm. I believe that PC.
No, I got you.
You know, it's like I have to do business with these people. I believe that play, I hear what you're saying. but you can't treat music like it's a piece of content on Vine. Music is not just a piece of content. Think about the process. Well, let me ask you this, Theo. Have you ever written a record?
Yes, but let me ask you this.
Okay.
What consumer do you know who's not an artist cares about the process?
No, but okay. This is what I'm saying. You know how long it takes to then. Have you ever created an album?
No, but I've worked with several artists who
Okay.
created albums.
Okay, so it can be a pretty extensive process. When
Right.
me and Wayne worked on Project Mayhem that dropped in 2020, we worked on that project. We started, I think, October, November of 2019, and it didn't come out to the summer. The reason why it's even able to come out during the summer was because we were all home and we can get on Zoom, me, Mark Generous out in Vancouver, and Wynn here in New York, and work on it. But the thing is, it takes time, right?
Right.
It's not a piece of content. It takes time. I can pick up my phone right now and be like, yo, whatever, and post it, and that's a piece of content. Like the video
That's dangerous.
Like the video I just did that on the whole CNN doing the Applebee's commercial when they're announcing like the citizens of Ukraine getting ready to defend themselves. Fam, it took me 6 minutes to make that content. 2 videos, 6 minutes, and I was done. That's not happening with music. So if you treat music like it's just a piece of content, it loses its luster. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I agree with them. It's not conducive to having a successful catalog. You're just gonna have all these watered down songs because you're treating your music like it's content. It's not a video. It's a song. It's something you draw from experience and putting into audio form.
I'll argue that point from someone who came from a video. It's funny because I've been in audio and video since I was 3. So from a video standpoint, there is a difference because people gonna look. I guarantee you, somebody's gonna be in a comment at some point and they're gonna chew our asses out for the way you just described what they do with regards to video. Because there is your bloggers, you know what I'm saying, who will sit there and they can just jump on really quickly and present something. Yes, but if we're comparing music to a video aspect in the sense of saying value, technically you'd have to compare it to cinematography. And in which case, then we could argue and say, yes, there is an extensive point of time,
but that's conflating.
In which case that can be done.
You're conflating. You're watering down what I'm saying and saying something about video. I'm talking about
no. I'm just trying to help. I'm just trying to help that side so don't nobody come in the comments on our ass, basically saying the way you just treated video is disrespectful as hell because you make it sound like Steven Spielberg just pops on and boo boo. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to help the people who gonna get on our ass.
Hold on. So let me talk to the videographers. Okay. Shout out to the videographers I know. Shout out to Fred Agu and Greg Noir back in Houston. Right. And even shout out to my boy Michael Liu or whatever. Right. He's not a photographer, but he does that hobby. They do it professionally. But what I'm saying is, even for the videographers out there, because my boy Remy Martyr that did the video for Drive-Fi, when he did the drone footage of like the beach and going down the mountains and everything else. Okay, cool. Yeah, that did take him time. No videographer is taking a year to create something. There are songs that have taken a year to create, and you're telling them, no, you need to do more. You can't tell
again,
Adele, Jay, Beyonce, or Rihanna, yo man, I'm gonna need you to pump out more music. It's like they'll give you the finger. Like, what are we talking about?
I mean, that's tricky because you mentioned any one of them artists, they quite literally, and every one of them have said in one video or another, they have bolts of music. I mean, so you're in the industry, you understand. Yes. Artists will have 200-300.
There are bolts of music, but if you're forcing an artist, like for instance, we know Prince has. So Young Guru said one time he has 3,000 unreleased Jay-Z songs in his hard drive.
Mm-hmm.
So we know we're creators. We know that Jay may possibly have some trash songs. We know it because you have 3,000 songs. So for we'll say Magna Carta, which is one of my favorite Jay-Z albums, right? A lot of people trash it, but it's one of my favorite albums. That track list is, I think, 14 or whatever. He may have made 70 tracks. Beyonce is Symbolic One says the same thing when he was working with Beyonce. Beyonce had 66 songs before she came out with the it was the whatever album was the best thing I never had. He co-produced that record, right? She had 66 records, which means out of that she chose the best 10. If you force her to release more versions of that album, you're gonna get watered down. You're gonna bring down Beyonce's luster. The reason why we love Beyonce is because the songs are so well thought out and put together. It's heavy. There's dynamics. The mix is great. And this, that, and the third, and everything else. If you are forcing these artists to put out every single thought and demo out there, they lose their luster. Like I don't want to hear.
Definitely.
I don't want to hear 8 EPs in a year. I'm cool waiting every 10 years like everybody else. I'm cool with it. But yeah, so all right, fine.
I mean, that could be an argument to why you had things like, as they say, clout rap, where it's like you have these different people just dropping just random whatever type of records.
But so in that case, you kind of agree with me then?
No, I never said I wouldn't agree with you in certain circumstances. Never said that. There's always valid points between us. But if we're going to just kind of pull the whole full circle picture of the situation, then we have to say on both sides. But even what I was saying about video, if you think about, like you said, from a content standpoint, if you think about what Vine was doing, Vine created this incredible thing and then encapsulated it in 6 seconds. It proved to us that humans, by default, can literally say right now that our attention span for anything that's presented to us can be valued in 6 seconds.
Though, but that's conditioning.
That is true. But yeah, but again, we have to say what led to that point. So again, anything arguably can be said, okay, if you position this in the market, this can now start to condition people based on this platform. That's like TikTok. You could argue now that TikTok's algorithm is conditioning people in the way that they view content versus how it's viewed on Instagram or, for that matter, Facebook, which is why it takes off so well.
So I'm glad you said it. I think he says that in the next one. So we'll agree to disagree on this one, which I hate saying. I hate when people say that. We agree to disagree. That's so passive. Whatever. It's like, no, I disagree. Period. I don't agree to disagree. I disagree to agree, and I disagree to disagree. I disagree. But anyway, so here he says, this is Ghastly, by the way. I want to be able to share my life at a level that makes sense to me. Oh, hold on. We can't skip this. This is important. He says, for our song, well, that's a great song, but I need you to give me. Okay, so he says, well, that's a great song you have there, but I need you to give me a reason why I should care about you. What are your thoughts? Who are you dating? Do you make entertaining content? Not music, content. We'll get back to that. That's
branding, being a business.
Are you following trends? And the worst part is, if you decide to live in the real world and choose not to post for a while, the automatic assumption is that you're depressed or going through it, which, okay. So again, this kind of goes to my point, which is, hold that thought. We'll put a pin in there. Let me get to this. This is the one I want to get to. I want to be able to share my life at a level that makes sense to me as an artist and as a human. I love to make sketches, tell stories, create ridiculous edits, memes, and even the occasional YouTube video. But the anxiety of having daunting to-do lists, hundreds of unread emails, deadlines, due dates, logistical issues, video photo shoots, daily meetings, and an ever increasingly cutthroat flash in the pan media marketing bonanza can absolutely drain an artist to their lowest levels. Okay, this is what I was. So this is touching on a different point, and he's right here. Even me as a music producer, even me in the process of so let me let you a little insight on something. Me and River started Room 380, and we were trying to get off the ground. We have a website and everything else. And I was like, all right, cool. This is the marketing plan. This we're going to do this, that, and the third. River said, we probably shouldn't do that. I said, why won't we build the brand of Room 380? You know what he told me? He says, because by the time we get it to where we will like it, we could have spent all the time continuing to build your brand, filtering that traffic to Room 380 to get those clients, to get those artists that would hire us. Right. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. We're doing like a Rico Love Division 1 type thing, right? In the process of doing that, fam, 2021, I got burnt out. Like, I was posting content like crazy, and it helped. But fam, just to even try to keep up with, just posting every day. Like fam, I have folders of Dropbox. Like every time we go to the studio, I have to pay somebody to just walk around and get video, pictures. And I said, like, fam, don't stop till you at least at 250.
Right.
And it's like, I know at least 15 of these I'm gonna have to post separately. I'm still posting some content that I made in 2019 here because just to stay consistent, just to stay ahead of people, because I'm fighting the algorithm. Hence what I was saying originally. It's not the conditioning you're battling, it's the algorithm. The conditioning is a direct result of the algorithm. I think.
So you have to realistically say, where did the algorithm come from? I mean, because the algorithm didn't exist prior to there being a necessity. So again, going back to what people did, people said, I want to do this.
I have to say my part. I have to say this because me being PCs, it's making me sound crazy, and I need to say it so that would make sense. Because you know what I'm getting ready to say. Fam, that algorithm is nothing but a play for market share. Because if I reward you, okay, look. There's no iTunes plaque. Well, there's unofficial ones that you can get made. There's no Apple Music plaque. There's no Tidal plaque. There's no Amazon plaque. There's no Deezer plaque. There's no Pandora plaque, even though I think a Pandora plaque would be hard to get. But I think that would be very dope. I think a Pandora plaque would be fire. It's like, oh shit, you really doing something, right? And we'll address that Pandora Drake deal. I like how they mentioned it, and we heard nothing else about it. But there's a Spotify plaque. Kudos and shout out to everyone. Shout out to my boy Risco Funk.
Spotify got everything.
Shout out to my boy Risco Funk for getting his Spotify plaque for 3 million plays. Shout out to him. But I know what that is. That's a play for market share. And I'm all for it. But that's a play for market share. If I can house everything here with the podcast, with everything else, one central place for all your audio and video needs, because they're going to have the video next. Then
somebody need to bring that back.
Exactly. So I know what this is. So what you're saying here, it's not a conditioning. It's not a consumerism thing. It's a market share play.
It's a market share play now. But again, so think about it from a business standpoint when it's all started. If we go back to the 90s and early 2000s, we say people are illegally downloading music and movies. They're not buying on iTunes at the capacity that we need them to buy. Also, at this same situation, Android isn't really a thing. So you're talking about, you got CDs, you got MP3 files, all of a sudden you got iTunes on a computer. Several years later, you got iPod and iPhones. Okay, but in the transition of this, people are still illegally downloading music. How do I get them in a position where I can make money? Okay, all of a sudden this system comes along that you don't have to build yourself, breaks into our market, explodes in our market. All right, they're in our market, but they need our music. How do I position this? And how do I get consumers to play into this conversation? And once I get consumers into this conversation, what does that next stage look like? Because that's what it realistically comes down to. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it was all a situation of saying, how do I get my money back? Because at the end of the day, you're stealing money from me. You're not wanting to do it purposely. You just don't like the, options you have, which is you got to pay $1 or $10. And again, from an artist standpoint, they had similar arguments. Hey, I'm only getting paid 9 cents per song in this instance, per statutory rate, per contract. Also, I can't drop when I want. Also, I can't do a lot of things that I want. And you might shelf me for the hell of it if you don't like what I'm creating. So you had circumstances dealing with gatekeepers. We all complained about the circumstances that was the 90s and the 2000s, but they were effective and lucrative to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? Now it's on its head. The things that we asked for, which was regards to, hey, we want the freedom to create, the freedom to control, the freedom to be direct to the consumer when we want to, and the ability to shut up when we want to. It all exists. But again, depending on who you are as an artist will make a determination on how well you go and how you move. For example, again, your Adele's, they don't play that whole, oh yeah, let me drop every X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? That's even like with More. You know what I'm saying? It's like you see the rapper More, the majority of the things you see him drop is music videos. You'll see him drop music videos consistently. But again, like you said, it's music. It's the creative
But
path.
even for Moray, like first of all, that last album was dope. Like he's really dope. He's on his way. But even for him, like I'm a fan of his. I'm not demanding for any new music right now. Maybe in the fall, it's like, all right, give me a single or something or a feature or something. But like, I'm not demanding. And I know his fans would rather see him live than for him to drop some trash music just so he can keep up with the algorithm. That's what I'm saying.
That depends. That honestly depends on who you're dealing with. I mean, us from people again who work in the industry, we understand what it is, and at the same time, being creative, you understand the pain behind it. You know what I'm saying? But for someone who just listens to music, who is just a fan, that's just like what they say about them. And shout out to California, but that's just like what they say in fans in California. They don't understand. No, you tell them, yo, I can't take this picture. They still in your face, but yo, I really need this picture. Listen, my little sister loves you. I really need this, dude. I'm eating. Listen, just one moment. I can't get a selfie. It's that same situation with fans with regards to music and the play-by-play now. I'm telling you, it's crazy to think about it as the artist in the position, because our own situation dictates we wait because we want the classic. But that's not the situation for everybody. And that's where we're currently standing. Again, when you look at how platforms are now with social media, that stuff derived, you know what I'm saying, the way it is from platforms like Vine. Before social platforms like Instagram really took off in the capacity that it is today. No, TikTok does what Vine did. Instagram realized, oh, TikTok took that platform and made something crazy out of it. We need to adopt that same behavior. You know what I'm saying? These different things that video showed us are what we're dealing with market now. But it all came from the fact that consumers did not want to continuously pay the circumstantial price that we were charging. They wanted a better opportunity to access music. They told us in the 90s, we want access to your catalogs at a ratio and a rate that makes sense to us. And what do they always say in business? The customer's always right. That's what marketplace we're in right now. We're in the customer is right marketplace. Because when it came to music and access, that's exactly what happened. When Spotify came out, they said, oh, yeah, we know a way we can make money off of this. We know who's interested in this. We know exactly who will pay for this. That's stage one. Stage two became, hey, what do we do now? What does this look like? Well, again, from a video market, if you think about the fact that we lost CDs, they never lost DVDs. What did they do? The same things we were doing before with bundles, but they kept going with bundles. Then they released digital content. Now you got bundles with digital content. The same things that we failed to learn, which led us to our current circumstance in marketplace. Because you think about it, video streaming took a while. How many platforms came out when Netflix came out? Netflix took Blockbuster out, and how many platforms came out the same year as Netflix? You talking about 5, 6, 7 years later, all of a sudden we got Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, Apple Plus. It was a presentation of market because they saw how lucrative it was. And they still don't fail in the capacity that we do from a music standpoint. You know what I'm saying? It's just literally circumstances of what consumers wanted. They figured out how to make money. And yes, there are algorithms that are then created based on the circumstances that they want to control. Once they get you in the market, they say, how can we get these rats that's on the wheel to eat the cheese? How can we get them to run through the maze to get to the exit that we desire? That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. It's no different than driving. If you say if you pull up your GPS right now and tell it, you want to get to this location, it's going to present you 3 different ways. You choose the first way, but all of a sudden you run into a situation where, oh my goodness, there's a traffic issue. I now need to detour. You're going to follow along where they say the detour route is because they're telling you this is where you need to go. In that same sense, that's a basic level of conditioning. They take that same principal behavior and apply it and magnify it. You know what I'm saying? With regards to what we do on a day-to-day basis. It's the same issues that we run into with content privacy. Hey, if I go to Amazon and I look at this pair of shoes I want to buy, but I don't want to pay the price, then I switch over to Facebook. Thanks to this little thing called cookies, it's going to say, hey, I know you was on Amazon looking at these new J's, but you didn't buy. I got a coupon for you for $25 off. You want them now? Oh shit, they $25 off? Let me go ahead and swing over to this different platform and catch them J's. It wasn't about where you buy. It was because it knew you wanted to buy. You added to cart, but you did not purchase. So it knew exactly what it needed to do. That's the principality of it. It's the same thing they do with everything else. What we call algorithms in conditioning is quite literally them just understanding human and consumer behavior. They've been doing this for years. It just looks new because you slap a new situation on it. You slap it on a new platform. You slap it on a new device, and all of a sudden it sounds like it's the newest, most awesome thing until it's not. It's the same thing if you've seen that movie Ready Player One. You had these people in a post-apocalyptic world basically saying, yo, everybody's basically living in a slum except the 1%. We all gonna jump in this game and spend our money in this game. Now, the crazy thing about this is this one company is giving us this whole suit that we can basically play in. Everybody's trying to get this suit. Now, what are they trying to do with this suit? They're trying to take up 80% of the real estate how you play the game and position advertisements in front of you. So you basically buy more shit. You're not, excuse my French, you're not worried about the game at that point. You're worried about what will effectively make you better in the game, regardless if you play the game or not, because all you see is the advertisements in front of you. That is the positioning that we're in right now. They understand consumerism because they understand human behavior. We can call it conditioning, but at the end of the day, we have to say, what are they conditioning? We told them we wanted something. They gave it to us and decided after they gave it to us, okay, I'm gonna make you do this. I gave you this jump rope. Now I'm gonna make you do these tricks because I'm gonna make you think these tricks are cool. Yeah, you said you wanted something that go fast. Okay, we gave you a Ferrari. You didn't know we had a Bugatti, but we gave you the Ferrari because you just said you needed something that go fast. Now that you know you can go fast, we're going to tell you where you can drive it because, you know, the speed limit over here won't allow you to actually open this car up. But if you go over here to this Autobahn, you can really get it in. Word? Yeah, let me go ahead and go over there then. Why? Because I want to go fast. Bet. I know you want to go fast. I know you have the car that I gave you that you understand goes fast. Now, when you get there, I'm going to tell you exactly where you need to position yourself lane-wise so you can go as fast as you want. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we say algorithms, we say conditioning, but at the end of the day, this stuff does not exist prior to us saying we have a need. That is the principle of consumerism in marketing. Okay. You find product market fit. It's literally the same thing. If you look at the story of Instagram, before Instagram is what it is now, they created a program. They said, okay, this program isn't working. We need to go back to the drawing board and figure out what's going to make sense. They created a whole new platform called Instagram. They did this thing called product market fit, which associated the fact of saying the marketplace wants to do these things. They want to interact in this capacity. So let's create something that allows them to do these types of things. Things we learn from MySpace, things we see they do on Facebook, and make it more simplified and see what happens. They blew up and Facebook bought them because they understood consumerism. Their algorithm and everything adjusted and changed based on the fact that they understood what the market wanted to do. There's no algorithm until people tell you, I want this thing. There has to be some form of an idea. The idea dictates what's going to happen next. Because once you have the idea, you're going to start building a foundation. You're going to start building a formation around it. All right, I need 2 blocks or I need 3 blocks. I don't know. Do you want it to be a rectangle or do you want it to be a triangle? Damn, that's a good question. What do I need it to do? Do I need it to stand on 3 legs? Do I need it to hold up me and the homie? Or do I need it to hold up me, my homie, and his girlfriend? Man, this is about to be crazy. I got to figure that out. It's no different than building a business plan in that sense.
Okay. All right. I got you. I disagree to disagree. But you made your point. Since you're on Spotify, let's go ahead and segue into this whole Spotify card thing. So what is this
Here we go with him again. Oh, this is the same thing that SiriusXM did.
We're not beefing with Spotify. I just want people to know, like, that's it. Daniel, call me.
I'll be honest with you. SiriusXM did this years ago before they really had like the digital app. You know what I'm saying? They had a in-car player, so you could access SiriusXM in older model vehicles that didn't have access to SiriusXM.
So what is this thing?
So this right here is the radio player, but it's Spotify.
I'm sorry.
Spotify. It's a player, Spotify player in your car.
What's the difference between this and just hooking up my phone Bluetooth?
That depends on the type of phone you have. Does your phone have capabilities? I mean, you think about it. Everybody now is basically dealing with CarPlay or some form of that function.
No. What is the difference between this and what I have on my phone already?
It's literally your car. Does your car support the functionality?
Yes, my car can. Oh, so this is for people that don't have Bluetooth on there. So how does this work?
Is if you gotta. Well, we're gonna have to read the article to see exactly what.
Oh man, you bugging out. See, I started asking questions.
Oh no. See, this type of situation, I already know what these are, and I know I don't need it, so I smooth out on it.
Let's see. Okay, Car Thing is an in-car listening device and player that features a dial to browse, select, play, and pause content on the forward screen. This is stupid.
SiriusXM did this years ago. It's the exact same thing. You know what's funny? I used to have one. I had bought.
Wait, hold on. Car Thing enables listeners to play music and podcasts using Hey Spotify voice. This is disrespectful.
Hey Siri.
This is disrespectful. Commands, tap, turns, and swipes up the touchscreen and scrolling using the built-in dial. Spotify says more seamless, personalized for the time being. The car is only available for premium use in the near future. So how does it connect? So that's my question. How is this connecting to Spotify?
I would put my money on it that one, it's a USB port, it's a USB connection as far as into your car, in which case you would need a cigarette outlet, or depending on how old your car is, and it's probably using a data connection off your phone. And regardless of how old your phone is, 9 times out of 10, you have some form of connectivity option. I mean, if you have at least a phone within the last 5 to 10 years, you probably have some form of hotspot capability. But at the same time, your car may not have Bluetooth. So that's where you basically running into the situation. I mean, people still out here running around with 93s. 94 is the early 2000s. I've seen a couple of classics the other day, like hot rod type joints. So, I mean, you just never know, man. You really never know. But literally, that is what SiriusXM did. And I would have never realized that SiriusXM did it had I not had to have one installed in a Chevy truck I had maybe about 5 years ago, because the dude who sold me the truck told me it had SiriusXM. Turns out it didn't have the install. They couldn't add it. They couldn't add it into the actual OS of the car, so they had to install a SiriusXM player. And this was before they actually had the SiriusXM app. So they are literally doing the same thing, trying to reach a marketplace for people who have older vehicles.
All right, we're gonna move on because our demographic is definitely that's definitely not for our demographic. I'm not even gonna
not at all. At least, hopefully not.
That is horrifically sad.
They're gonna catch everybody they can. They're not playing.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, business is business, man. They on for the money.
Yeah. So, shout out to Spotify. All right. So I want to address something I've been meaning to address for a while. This is gonna be controversial, but as someone that considers himself somewhat of a leader here, it would not be proper for me to not address this. So, everybody wants to be verified on Instagram. Now, recently, there was a post from a gentleman, I think it was out in Atlanta, I can't remember the guy's name. He says there is a certain thing you do on Instagram where if you see someone with a blue check on their profile page, if you go to the 3 dots up top, and if you don't see about this profile or about this page on that person's profile page with the blue check, it's not real. And I tested it out. I went to the rocks first just to see, and he's right. If I go to the rocks, it tells me similar popular accounts, tells me more about the individual and the business. I went to a few others that have blue checks, and come to find out, based on what he is saying, there's a lot of people with fake blue checks.
Out here selling them.
A publicist I know that's here in New York City says, I've been telling people this for years. She actually get people verified, and this and the third, they do, all the different things to get your account in order and everything else. But I want to address that first. Okay. Go check it out. You may see some profile. Now, I don't know the legitimacy of them saying that. That may only pertain to like really big accounts, but I did do it on a few who I'm like, oh, I've never really heard of this artist. And I know you guys have come across that too. Like, this guy has 14,000 followers, or he has 140,000 followers. I've never heard of him. It's a blue check. That's okay, interesting. And we live in the same city. And,
that's different.
But fam, that I cannot tell you how many times this happened. It's like, yeah, follow me on Instagram. It's like, you have 60,000 followers. I've never heard of you, and I'm outside. I'm not sort of outside.
Right.
I'm outside. I've never heard
You
of
in
you.
my neighborhood.
Yeah, like, okay. But again, I don't know the legitimacy of that. I have no way fact checking to see if that's proper. Again, that may only be based on certain accounts. Maybe certain accounts can have their about section and others don't, but it is what it is. So I want to go through the whole understanding the verification on Instagram, and just want to touch base on a couple things. I kind of want to read this article for you guys. So this came out in 2021, and I'll go through it, and it's really just me reading, but I'm interested. Let us know in the comments your thoughts. But okay, so what is verification? At its core, verification is a way for people to know that the notable accounts they are following or searching for are exactly who they say they are. Okay, pretty simple. It's a way for people to know which accounts are authentic and notable. Verification badges aren't an endorsement from us, nor do we consider them a symbol of importance. Okay, let's touch on that. So if Instagram doesn't consider it important, why are we fighting for this blue check? The people who give the blue checks, like, it doesn't matter.
So it's just like anything else.
I know what it is. But I just wanted the audience.
Yeah, I mean, the 1% can tell you do this, and it don't really matter to them, but they know it's cool anyway, so people gonna be on it. In this case, like they state, it's a matter of saying your account has legitimacy. You are the official, so to speak, account holder. This is the actualized account. All these other accounts are fake.
Okay.
So it's like that circumstance holds legitimacy to your fans because they know when they go to yours, it's real.
So let me go into the history of this whole verification thing. So back when Instagram was really started to really pop, which would be, when did I get off tour? So 2013 is when Instagram really started to rev up. Celebrities started jumping on. In that, people were making fake celebrity accounts, so you didn't know. Mm-hmm. So if, I don't know, well, Rihanna, we'll just say that for example, like when she jumped on, there were, if you go on Instagram, there are a lot of fake Rihanna Instagram accounts. So if you're searching for her, the quickest way to find out if you're following the real page, because some of them actually posted content and pictures that look like they were actual person, like there would be selfies and stuff like that they pull from other places, you didn't know. Excuse me. So the reason why there's a blue check and verification is to say, hey, out of these 15,000 accounts that popped up when you put this artist's name or this celebrity's name, this is the person you're looking for. We verified it. Right. This is them. And this, that, and the third. So knowing that, because again, I come from 2009 Twitter, so I've seen everything under the sun. I've been on social media so long, I'm starting to see patterns repeat. It's like, I know, I'm showing my age, but like, again, my birthday is Saturday. I'm not going to put my Cash App, but if you want to send me something, it's so. But, yeah, like, so when I see certain artists with a blue check, I'm like, that doesn't mean anything, bro. Like, it to me, it never meant anything. It's like, fam, no one's looking for little bus beats 24. No one's looking for you. You have, 40,000 followers. Fam, if I type in little bus beats, it's like you and a fan page. I highly doubt people are going to say, oh, I don't know which one. I doubt that, right? So let's continue on. It's part of our.
I mean, true enough. But I mean, at the same time, arguably somebody can say, well, if I got it early in the stage, all fans who basically came with me from that stage would know there's a legitimacy to this account and then notify other fans, just that word of mouth. It'll just build in. So when they start getting to that stage where people are paying attention, like, oh, Lil Buzz Beats is busting now. And all of a sudden 50 accounts come up. they know what they're dealing with. I mean, but again, it comes back to that 1% mentality. They said, yo, this is cool. We already knew what the initial function was, as you stated with celebrities. After the initial function was served, it just became a cool factor. My favorite celebrity has this that says that their account is legitimate. Okay, as a business, is this viable to me? Yes, this says I'm this. For any other general artist, like you said, who isn't quote unquote popping and just buying the blue check, is just a functional means to make it basically look like you're something.
You're running a jug, as my man I can't remember your name.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting tired. Producer for Dipset. God dog it. I can't remember your name. Hold up. Let me look this up. Wait. I can't quote you and not.
And not pull up and you did.
Daryl Digger Branch, who produces for Cameron and Dipset. As he said, the jug is up. The jug has been up. Fam, the average consumer is much smarter. The average consumer is dumb. But the average consumer is also much smarter than you think you give them for. Fam, no one is believing this blue check. They don't. It's almost become like who cares now? Because so many of you guys, it's been watered down now. It doesn't mean anything, right? So, and we'll get it one day. We'll touch base on fan base and what Isaac Hayes Jr. is doing with fan base. He's doing some really great things. But as far as Instagram, fam, don't nobody care about that blue check. It's dope. It looks good, but fam, no one really. Well, I'm sorry. Let me change that. Fam, no one on this side of the business cares. You got a blue check? Okay, that's dope. Can you sell out a venue? No? Okay, so what are we talking about? But anyway, that's
the trick.
That's the trick. So anyway, so it says, how do I get verified? To be verified, you must follow our terms of blah, 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 blah. All right. Your account must represent a real person, registered business, or entity. Okay. So I'll confess. I try to get my account verified. You know what the process is, Theo? You have to take a picture of the front of your driver license, the back of your driver license, and submit your address and information. You know what
I'm saying? You get your Google Knowledge panel at this point.
And I have it. So if you Google Hänz Nobe, there we go. There's all my stuff. I got to change that picture, but there's all my stuff. So I have my own knowledge panel, right? So, and if you guys want to know how to get your own knowledge panel, you know what you should do? Contact Theo. Oh, hold on. You're this way. Contact Theo. Am I doing this right? Yeah, Theo.
That's always the question.
Yeah. Contact Theo. But Instagram was just like, yeah, that's legit. We don't care. So this is the process. You must be a real person. Your account must be the unique presence of a person or business it represents. Notable entities. Okay. Yes, news articles help. Yes, blog articles help. But they're always moving the goalposts, so you don't know how many you need. This month you may need 12. Next month you may need 88. The month after you may only need 3. They do that on purpose because they're trying to see like, okay, who's really popping out here if we're going to verify them. There's people you can hire publicists. They'll tell you, keep working, keep pushing, and then you'll know when it's time to get verified. All right. Only one account per person or business may be verified. Your account must be public, have a bio profile. Yeah, Okay. Here's the part. Your account must represent a well-known, highly searched for person, brand, or entity. Guys, the jug is up. There's something called chartmetrics.com. We all have a subscription or have had a subscription. I can verify if you're legit in like 2.1 seconds. Matter of fact, if it only takes 2.1 seconds to pull your data, you're not popping. The end. Like, let it go. Like, stop trying to run a jug on everybody. And again, based on what that guy said, now I don't know the legitimacy of that. But what I'm saying is for those of you that don't have the blue check, fam, it's not that important. I promise you. It's just a look. It's just like buying followers, buying likes, and everything else is just a look. And that's it, man. Yeah. Anything else you want to touch base on this, man? Because that's it. I just wanted to say my piece.
Now you smashed that, man. I'll give them 2 things before we lock out. As when we're talking about verification, I mean, back to the situation, it's all about knowledge and money. I mean, that's all this is. So with that being the case, we're going to give you a definition. And realistically, considering the time, I'm just going to give you a term and y'all can rock out with Google on the definition. But if y'all really trying to get to that money, you know what I'm saying, looking at from the US to international stage, I highly recommend you check out the word known as neighboring rights and its comparison with regards to performing rights from a US standpoint. And also, while you're on that conversation of looking into neighboring rights, if we're talking about how do you say verification and getting your information out there as an artist, you definitely want to go ahead and check out this site called Music Brain. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and get your wiki situation together.
Damn, man, do we need to put this in the description? What's it called? Music Brain?
Yeah, that little situation, you know what I'm saying, just helps everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you really need to know what time it is. People basically want to say, oh, yeah, I got catalog this, I got catalog that. You need to really know how the industry, in a lot of instances, is pulling information and who's doing what where.
That's hard.
It's a lot of different circumstances. And this is just one of those little hidden gems that most people don't realize exist. Like there is a wiki situation for artists. This happens to be one of them.
Again, the information is out there. Just if you search for it long and hard enough, you'll find it. But there is a cap on the information. There is a point where it's like you search every nook and cranny. It's kind of like with Kenny Beats interview. He said like I've watched every single beat tutorial on YouTube. It got to the point where it was like I just need to get in the studio with some of these artists and some of these producers to see what's really going on, and it's the truth.
Exactly.
Like you will hit a cap. If you're just starting out, it's fantastic, and there's always new content being loaded up. But if you go down the rabbit hole far enough, you start seeing people start saying the same thing over and over and over again in different ways, and you will get to a point where like you can almost predict what they're gonna say. Like, okay, cool, yep, he's gonna say this. Oh, yep, got it. Okay, the algorithm. Okay, got it. You know. But yeah, man. That's it. That's all I got. Man, I think this was a pretty decent episode, man.
Yeah, man, it was rocking, man.
Jordan number. So yeah, man, if you rocking with us to the end, make sure you subscribe, hit like. We'll keep you guys posted on the Capitalism and Art Facebook group. We love y'all. Take care. Have a great weekend. Again, my birthday is Saturday. You don't have to send me anything, but if you want to, you can. I'm not dropping my Cash App. Stop sending me weird DMs. I'm not selling anything for you. Stop with the small talk.